single to end the over. Good over. A wicket from it as well. 9 down. The Scorchers are 5 for 71.
Melbourne Apprenticeship Group, apprentice labour hire, a flexible, cost-effective construction workforce supporting tomorrow's tradespeople. Reliable first to fourth year apprentices on contracts from 1 week to ongoing. Google Melbourne Apprenticeship Group today.
You can build with confidence with Metricon thanks to our lifetime structural guarantee. And we now offer advice and guidance to all Australians so they can truly love where they live. For more info, visit metricon.com.au. New South Wales Contractors Licence 174699C.
Bash Nation, Jordan Canellis and Bryce McGain with you. We are at the end of the 9th over, so after this over, the two sides can activate their X-Factor players if they choose. Mackenzie Harvey and John Holland for the Renegades, and then Corey Roccaccioli and Joel Paris for the Scorchers.
Can't imagine it happening too often.
I don't think it will.
It just won't. It's got to be some bizarre circumstances, but the captain and the coach would definitely want to back in the players they've selected in the 11 to bounce back. Even if they have a stinking over, they'll bounce them to bounce back because they've been selected. Bo Webster to bowl now. He's off spin this time.
Webster is in the tallest frame on the ground just about. That's even considering the likes of Jason Berendorf on the other team. Dot ball.
Now, Webster has been bowling a bit of medium pace for Tasmania in the Sheffield Shield. A bit of medium pace and off spin in Shield games.
Right arm around the wicket from Webster to Hardy, who flicks it down wide of mid-on. May get back for a couple there. Just the single. Brings Mitch Marsh back on strike for the first time in a while.
And that's got to be Hardy's role here. Just get up the other end, get Mitch Marsh as much of the strike as you can.
Been stuck on 15 off 14 the last 2 overs, it feels, Mitch Marsh. That's off the pads. They'll get one, and then they thought about the second, but Marsh, the non-strikers, now calls Hardy back to stick with the single.
And with Webster now, he's spinning the ball to the big boundary with the wicket right over the edge of the square. It's on the hillside of Bloodstone, so that the twos are on into that leg side field.
He's tried to guide that one around the corner, Hardy. It's hit the pad instead. He got no bat to it.
Big shout.
Yeah, it was a decent shout, especially from the wicketkeeper.
Not a lot of spin, and probably just working across.
Yeah.
Maybe missing off stump.
I reckon it's pitched on legs, so that's would have made it valid, but drifting. That's a single, not a bad throw from Bo Webster. It looked like a tame single, but Webster, he got his long legs out there, slid into the ball, had a shy at the bowler's ends, and Hardy's just got back in the nick of time.
Good agility. Some big men out there. Hardy's big. He would have been out. Mitch Marsh is huge.
He gathered it and turned while on his knees, Bo Webster, to fling that one in. Final ball of this over, and it's clipped away down to wide, long on for a single. So they kept it ticking along there in the 10th over. The Perth Scorchers, they are 5 for 75.
Tyre Power have topped the customer satisfaction table again. That's right, Tyre Power received the coveted CanStar Blue Most Satisfied Customer Award for the 2nd year running, making them winners 6 out of the last 7 years. We're proud and thankful to know that you voted for Tyre Power to receive 5-star reviews in every category of customer satisfaction. So when you need new tyres, go to the undisputed leaders in the field, Tyre Power. Visit your local owner-operator or find us at tyrepower.com.au.
Big Bash Nation, Jordan Canellis and Bryce McGain. Bloodstone Arena is the venue, the second of the doubleheader tonight. Lost a couple of wickets early, did the Perth Scorchers. They were 3 for 19 after 3 overs, and now at the halfway mark as they take their drinks, they are 5 for 75. Mitch Marsh on 17, of course, facing his brother tonight, Sean, playing for the Renegades. And Aaron Hardy is 7 off 9. At the halfway point, so the X-Factor players can be brought in if they want. I don't imagine they will, Bryce.
I can't imagine anything happening with that for some time, unless something bizarre happens. I can't even think about what bizarreness would need to happen for that to occur, but that'll be the target. 75 runs will be the target for the Renegades to secure 1 point. So there's 1 point up for grabs when they are batting, of course.
The Bash boosts.
Yes.
At top of the Renegades order when we see them in their innings includes Sam Harper, who scored his career-high 73 in the Big Bash in this same meeting last year at Cardinia Park in Geelong. So he can score runs against the Scorchers as well. Finch Sean Marsh and Riley Russo will be the top 4 for the Renegades. They've got the firepower there, Bryce, to go head-to-head with the Scorchers for this target of 75 for that bash boost bonus point.
Yeah, they certainly do. It's a very different lineup by the Renegades this year. They really underperformed last year. It was a disappointing season, finishing on the bottom. And look, they were all sorts of challenges, but they have brought in some players. But when you've got Aaron Finch available, that's another real bonus for you. And he will be available all the way through now. And, you know, as captain, the best opening batsman in the world, just about, or arguably. For me, he is, and he's been a great touch for Australia. So you've got to give every opportunity. And him with Sean Marsh as well, a leading run scorer. Harper, as you mentioned, Russo. It's a good lineup.
Hatsoglu continues in his third over. Sliding down leg, comes off the pads of Mitch Marsh. And they thought about a single, decided against it. There was a man there at backwards square coming around. Yeah. Dot ball.
The throw was to the bowler's end. There's a bit of backing up there. It was Hardy backing up. Hatsoglu was just down the middle of the wicket. Should have been back behind the stumps.
Hatsoglu right up over. That one spins in, hits the pad. That's out as well. LBW, he's got the skipper. Mitch Marsh goes 17 off 18, and that was a superb wrong-un, Bryce McGain.
Well, I think it's just sliding in. He's getting big drift in, and it's so unusual for the batsman. They're thinking, no, it's just a leg spinner, but it just keeps coming in. Bang, that's quicker than he expected. It reminds me a lot of Cameron White when he first started bowling. The ball would just slide in, it'd be quicker.
Yep.
And he's just attacking the stumps there. They're expecting the ball to spin away, and it's just not. That is a huge wicket now. Mitchell Marsh on his way, 6th wicket down for the Scorchers. They're in all sorts of bother here.
So he's got the wickets of Mitch Marsh and Cameron Bancroft, 2 players who have worn the baggy green. Peter Hatsoglu.
This is a huge wicket. Mitch Marsh on his way. He's the big danger in their whole lineup. Mitch Marsh batting at 4.
Yep.
Not necessarily promoted up the order, but just has the responsibility to be the pivot player for the Scorchers, and he's on his way. Now it's up to the bowlers. They need to scramble their way. Nothing's wrong with the run rate at the moment, 7.5, but they need to scramble their way to every bit of 150 to make it a challenge for the Renegades.
Wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au as Jai Richardson now is out in the middle. So they're into the bowlers here, the Melbourne Renegades. Scorchers are 6 for 75 as Hatsoglu in again. He's pushing Richardson back into the crease. Managed to get it away, worked it into the leg side for a short single. Richardson off the mark, Hardy back on strike. He is 7 off 9.
And the thing is, the Scorchers wouldn't have had any look at Hatsoglu before. You would expect that Fawad Ahmed would give some information about him, but you know, that depends that Farwad's been at training and all that sort of stuff at Melbourne Uni, so maybe not.
Hatsoglu pushes that one up, a bit full of that time. That'll skip off the spare pitches at Bellerive and out to Kane Richardson fielding deep on the offside. Just 1 for Hardy, brings Jai Richardson back on.
So you really need to play him like an in-swing bowler, like an in-swing medium pacer. He's probably bowling about 100 k's an hour, but the ball's just drifting in and continuing on.
6 for 77, the Scorchers. 2 left in this. Hatsoglu over. That one zipped onto the bat as well. Richardson had no idea. It's flung away into the leg side off the stickers. Dot ball. Good ball from Peter Hatsoglu.
Someone get to Adam Voges and just let him know and tell his players what's actually happening here. The ball is just drifting in. Play him like an in-swing bowler. He's bowling beautifully now. He's really got his confidence up. 2 wickets in the bag.
Last ball of this over. That's trailing down leg side. Richardson follows it. Edges it out behind backward square leg. And just 2 they run that time. So Richardson a double. End of the 11th over. The Scorchers are 6 for 79.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability. All while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
From both ends here for the Renegades as Webster continues. Very full delivery. Right arm around from Webster. On off stump. And Hardy strokes it down to long off for one.
And it really is a ripping wicket here. The Scorchers won the toss and elected to bat.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with the wicket to lose 6 wickets. The Renegades have done particularly well, and the ball's just sliding in. There's zero spin whatsoever in the wicket. And there's no seam. It's just really good batting conditions.
Webster pushes that one up on middle stump, and Richardson flourishes it away into the leg sides. Fielded by Jake Fraser-McGurk in the team. A single. 6 for 81, the Perth Scorchers.
A few wayward throws just at the moment by the Renegades. Not really hurting them too much.
Webster's in. Hardy took a step back, opened up the stumps. It was always going down leg, so he followed it. A dot ball back to the bowler.
Yeah, he wants a bit of width here. The short boundary's on his offside, so he wants to go over cover, and Webster just not giving him a bar of that.
Hardy facing on 9, comes down the wicket this time. Follows Webster, pushes it to long on. Fraser-McGurk again fielding, just another single.
Yeah, read that well then, Fraser-McGurk in the field. You've got to anticipate if they're just going to work it and look for that 2 to the big boundary. He's protecting it. He's out there because he's quick and he's got a good arm.
Webster, full of ball, on leg stump. Richardson, again to Fraser-McGurk. They are finding him on the boundary, another single.
And it's exactly what the Renegades would want. They're protecting that short boundary, which, as I mentioned, is on the offside, and just getting them to work the ball into the onside.
Webster, this time Hardy manages to get it through the offsides. The fielder comes around though, so they'll pick up a couple of runs. No boundary, they're protecting it well. Just a single, end of the 12th, 6 for 84.
Hi, it's Doug the Tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
6 for 84. Jai Richardson is on 5. Aaron Hardy is on 11. It's the Scorchers against the Melbourne Renegades. Speaking of Peter Hatzoglu as well, Bryce, I was wondering actually what the spin situation would be for the Melbourne Renegades, because they haven't got Imran Tahir until I think Christmas he comes in.
That's right.
Cameron Boyce isn't available for these earlier games, as there's a dot ball off the first of this Peter Hatzoglu over, his last. John Holland is in the squad, but he hasn't played Big Bash cricket for ages.
No, that's right.
He's there as one of the X-Factor players, but he barely played at all, if at all, last season. So Hatzoglu has almost fourth cab off the rank. He's got 2 for 25. Hardy tries to slash that one away, but doesn't connect all that well. Dribbles down to long on, but he's obviously he's made the most of it.
Well, a real surprise packet, and he's showing that he's a real handful. When he's attacking the stumps, the ball's drifting in and not spinning too much. He's a bit quicker. He's unusual. It's a whippy action, something the Scorchers players have not seen. And he's got a couple of big wickets too.
6 for 85 Perth. Hatzoglu in. And that's down the ground tamely to the long-off fielder in Jack Prestwidge. A single. 6 for 86. The Perth Scorchers team, we've barely spoken about them because it has all been about the Renegades in this first innings, taking wickets early, and then Peter Hatzoglu taking wickets here, the rookie leg spinner. Do you like the look of this Perth outfit, though? I mean, they've lost a bunch of wickets early on. It's Hatzoglu bowling.
Oh, he's done it again.
It's caught the inside edge of Hardy. And again, it's that drift angle into the right-hander that's done Hardy all ends up.
Yeah, well, he's tried to play it on the offside, and as an in-swing bowler and attacking the stumps, you just got to play him on the onside. And he's tried to work it. It must be difficult in their mind. They're going, oh, it's a leg break. But it's not. It's just sliding in, drifting in and sliding in. As I mentioned, like Cameron White did early in his career.
Hatzoglu, this time it's chopped down into the offside by Hardy. Zips down to the cover boundary where Kane Richardson stands. And they get 1.
And Aaron Finch has really Well, he's observed what's working here, and that's definitely pace off. So he's still got the firepower of Richardson, who's only bowled one over. He bowled the second over of the day. So he's still got him to close out the game, and he was the leading wicket taker in their premiership year.
Last ball of Hatsoglu's night, end of his 4 overs. He picks up, or he gets concedes a single off the bat of Jai Richardson. So 6 for 88 after 13 overs. Hatsoglu finishes with 2 for 29.
Sometimes needing new tyres can catch us by surprise. That's why Tyre Power gives you the power of Zip Pay and Zip Money. It means you can get what you need now, get back on the road safely, and pay for it later, taking advantage of the interest-free periods. So if you need new tyres or mechanical repairs, don't wait till it gets worse. Get them now with Zip Pay or Zip Money at Tyre Power. No fuss, no wait, no worries. Terms and conditions apply. So visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner-operator.
Hatsoglu, 4 overs done, 2 for 29. His figures. He'll be in the running for the Rookie of the Night for MEGT, your local apprenticeship experts. And there is a couple as well tonight, Bryce, for the Melbourne Renegades in particular. Jake Fraser-McGurk, who we've seen have some very good innings early on for the Victorians in the Sheffield Shields. This is his Big Bash debut, and a couple of other youngsters in the team for the Melbourne Renegades as Bo Webster is in, and Richardson dabs that one just forward of square leg for a single. So Hatsoglu, Benny Howell is technically a rookie as well, even though he's 32, but this is his first Big Bash game, and Riley Russo, likewise, 31 years old, but his first time in the Big Bash.
Yeah, good clubhouse leader at the moment.
Very wide of leg stump. It's shorter as well from Webster. Hardy goes to chase it and gets a single. Haven't scored a boundary in a long time, the Perth Scorchers.
No, everything has dried up completely. They're just going to just over 4 and over for the last 4 overs. Terrific bowling.
Webster, that's long down the ground, high in the air off the bat of Jai Richardson. Coming in off the rope is Jack Presswidge. Dives forward, takes the catch, clutches it against the sternum. And the Scorchers are 7 for 90.
Well, he's wanting to go through the offside. He's just dying to do it. Richardson giving himself some room, and then he hit it straight up. Didn't hit it well. Long off came in. Presswidge on the tumble a little bit as his knees hit the ground. He stumbled forward, looked back at the divot and went, "Phew, gee, I'm lucky to hang on to that one." He'll call for the sand bucket, replace the divot, and the Renegades pick up another wicket. 7 for 90. The woes continue.
Yep. Andrew Ty is the next one out. AJ Ty missed all of last season with injuries. Found his way back into T20 cricket via the Australian team, just as a nice little warm-up for the Big Bash. Played in the T20s a few weeks ago against India. 7 for 90. Boy, oh boy. They started slow, the Scorchers. They picked it up around the time of the end of the power play, the first 4 overs, with a couple of 12-run overs. And then since then, it's been almost a wicket and over just about for the Renegades. And they haven't scored a boundary since the middle of the 9th over, and here we are in the 14th. Webster on leg stump puts that one against the pads of Hardy, who again flicks it away into the leg side for 1.
Hardy's doing everything right here. He's rotating the strike. He's trying to score off every ball. That's what they need to do, and, well, they just need to take it deeper. It's only the 14th over.
Yeah.
So they've just got to take it deeper and just keep knocking the ball around and then really attack at the end. They need every bit of 150 to make it competitive.
Webster to Ty. His first ball faced. AJ Ty flicks it away again into the leg side. So singles into the leg side as you've said, Bryce, been what the Scorchers have done in the last 5 or 6 overs. They've still got the power surge as well. Their 2-over power play to use the Scorchers. Better use it sooner rather than later. We're into the tail end now. Hardy, another single.
Now, there is an option. Well, it's the end of the over.
End of the over, 7 for 93.
On the road, day and night, Cameron's is your total logistics solution. Any warehousing, transport or distribution, Cameron's has Australia covered. Cameron's can do.
We can move the world for you. Cameron's can do.
Cameron's.com.au.
New mini hotcakes with Nutella have arrived at Macca's. Our famous hotcakes made mini with a delicious layer of creamy Nutella. Try them today and flavour your summer with Macca's. Available for a limited time only.
Jordan Canellis and Bryce McGain on the call. It's the Scorchers against the Renegades at Blunston Oval, Bellerive Oval in Hobart, the second of the two games tonight. And here we go. Here is the power surge, Bryce. The 2-over power play activated by the batting side. So the Scorchers with Aaron Hardy out there, 16 off 21, and AJ Ty 1 off 1. They'll have 2 overs of fielding restrictions.
Well, we've seen a couple of different opportunities here with the surge, I suppose. And what happens is that it can bring wickets or it can bring some runs. And with a couple of lower order batsmen there, it's going to make rotating the strike harder because there's going to be more in the circle. So they've got to take a risk and go over. So it's a real curly one here. The men out that they have, the Renegades, they're going back to Richardson. So
what's...
Rich old bowl here. There's a deep long on and a deep mid wicket. The rest on the offside, there's a ring of 5 and then 2 behind square on the leg side.
So Kane Richardson is in, bowling for the Renegades. Right arm over to Hardy, who bunts it into the offsides and picks up a quick single.
So they've called it with the short boundary to be attacked this over. The short boundary on the leg side for both these right-handers, Hardy and Ty. And as I mentioned, the men out of the deep mid-wicket and the deep long on, and then it's just a ring of fielders around. They're right back on the edge of the fielding restriction circle. Kane Richardson coming in.
Holds that. Oh, that's straight through AJ Ty, who's gone for tried to play the gorgeous stroke into the covers and missed it entirely.
Did a number on Sam Harper as well, as it dropped a bit. It was a bit of a slow ball, like a leg cutter. He's ripped his fingers across it, and it's actually gripped. Well, it's at the sort of the back of the hand. It gripped a bit, but on its way through to Harper, it really died and landed in an awkward spot just in front of him. Wasn't gloved cleanly, and they sneaked through for a bye.
Yeah, rolled the hand over late, Kane Richardson. He's in here, right arm over to Hardy. And a slower delivery, comes off the toe of the bat of Hardy, and that will go down to third man for 4.
Well, that's stiff. Just 118 k's an hour, same delivery, a little bit wider this time, and can't really afford to give width. Not only for it to be blazed through the offside, but any edge, away she goes, and no hope for any fielder to stop that one. Finch was off after it and then gave it up pretty quickly.
Boundary for the TAC. On your phone, you're driving blind. TAC, the first boundary for the Scorchers in 6 overs. Richardson bowling in, full toss. That one floated in around knee height to Hardy, who's tried to pound it through the offside and found the fielder for a dot.
Well, Richo got away with one there. That was a gift outside off stump, an on-pace one, and Hardy's just pumped it straight to the fielder.
Hardy's ticked along all right, 21 off 24.
Yeah, he's a really capable player, good bowler as well.
Yeah.
He's got an important role here to bat through right to the end. It's another 5 overs to come after this.
Richardson in, that one's Fuller as well. He's dug at that one, Hardy. Picks up a single as it bounces through to the fielder at points. That was a tricky one to handle, but he handled it all right.
Yeah, just his timing is getting mucked up a bit with Kane Richardson, who is changing his pace and rolling his fingers across the ball. So he's a real handful. Of course, he was the leading wicket taker in the premiership of the Renegades. That was 2 seasons ago. BBL 08.
Richardson into Ty, last ball. He's clubbed that down the ground. AJ Ty all the way for 6. Third ball he's faced, Andrew Ty, and he's absolutely walloped it down. They've reached triple figures, the Scorchers, end of 15, and they are 7 for 106.
For many of us, our car is our pride and joy, or the family taxi. And for some weeks now, it's been sitting idle in the driveway, waiting. waiting for the moment we can get back out on the road. Before we do that, book in with Tyre Power for your free 5-minute tyre safety check. Plan ahead, beat the crowds. It's so important to check your tyres are 100% roadworthy and safe. Find your local independent Tyre Power dealer at tyrepower.com.au.
AJ Ty, a 6 off the last ball, a boundary for the TAC. On your phone, you're driving blind, TAC. Straight down the ground it goes. Bryce, 7 for 106. The
Not a
Scorchers.
bad ball, just top of off stump, and he just rocked back deep in his crease, played it off the back foot straight down the ground. Home run to centre field. Unbelievable shot.
Yeah, right past the sight screen. AJ Ty is Hardy will face again. Benny Howe will continue. The English import here for the Renegades. He's got none for 11. Slower ball. Hardy waits for it and just plays it, works it into the offside, into the fielders in the ring. Well, they had to make the most of it because that was the first over of their power play, so you're going to score some boundaries. And they had 2 off the over, a 4 and a 6 in the last gone. This is the second of their power play or power surge overs. Howe bowling to Hardy. Fuller ball. Hardy backs away and off the toe of the bat down to the man at mid-off for a single. 7 for 107.
Yeah, and Howe's a perfect bowler, I think, to bowl this change of pace, tricky bowler. He's got knuckleballs, cross seamers. He's got a big bag of tricks, and he's hard to line up.
Does he bowl spin as well?
Yeah.
Howe, he is in, right arm, and that one has, I reckon that's clipped the stump. That's clipped leg stump. It's a dot ball. It's gone straight through the bat. The leg stump wobbled, but the bails weren't dislodged.
Well, that one there was one he just bowled seam up, fingers behind, and it just zipped through.
Was it?
No, just wider leg stump, but really close. And with that short boundary on the offside, Ty's looking to give himself some room to hit inside out. Howe won't want to give that space outside off stump.
Ty facing, that one's on off stump, and it's again blasted to the man standing at cover. Sean Marsh, who's getting up, wringing his fingers from that, a dot ball.
Stop the ball, and he's got to pick up 6 of his fingers. They've been blasted off his hand. He gave that everything. It's a couple that they've just smacked to the fielder on the offside. A metre either side, and it would be 4 for certain.
Howe into Ty, who's stepping down. Mistimes it. It'll roll through square leg, but it might roll kindly. No, it won't, as Richardson goes journeying around the boundary. And so a double for AJ Ty. He's up to 9 off 6.
It's good over. Yeah, good over. Just 3 off it. And it hasn't really, well, 13 off the first one. First over by Richardson with that big 6 over long off. Now this one here, good bowling by Howe. As I said, perfect guy for this type of power surge play.
Yeah, he's done very well. Howe finishes the over with a big heave from AJ Ty, which he misses it. Actually hit his numbers on the back, I reckon, or at least in the solar plexus. And 7 for 109 after 16.
You can build with confidence with Metricon thanks to our lifetime structural guarantee. And we now offer advice and guidance to all Australians so they can truly love where they live. For more info, visit metricon.com.au. New South Wales Contractors Licence 174699C.
Melbourne Apprenticeship Group. Apprentice labour hire. A flexible, cost-effective construction workforce supporting tomorrow's tradespeople. Reliable first to fourth year apprentices on contracts from 1 week to ongoing. Google Melbourne Apprenticeship Group today.
Bash Nation, Jordan Canellis and our Western Union expert, Bryce McGain. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with our app. The Scorchers are 7 for 109, Ty 9, and Hardy 23.
Well, it's a useful partnership. And they need, as I said, they're going to need every bit of 150 to make it competitive.
Can they get there? In 4 overs, normally you'd say you can, but when you're down to your 8th and 9th batsman.
Yeah, and your best closers come on now for the Renegades. So
yeah,
they're not the part-timers. These are your top-end closers. Layla's that, the left armour. And it's a cagey recruit from the Heat, I think.
I love it.
It gives some really good variation and a good closer He's already got 2 for 15 off his 2 overs at the front. He bowled in the power play at the beginning.
Layla is in, left arm over. That's a wild ball, high, full toss outside the line of off. Hardy followed it, gave it everything. Found the man on the rope as the fielding restrictions ease. Power surge over. A single. Yeah, they've got Layla with 2 overs to go. Richardson's got 2 overs to go. Jack Prestwich has 2 overs. Benny Howe still got 1. Webster's still got 1.
Yeah, and Layla looking to bowl his left arm right across the right-handers so they hit to the short boundary, which is on their offside.
Layla off the toe of the bat, inside edge of the toe of the bat of AJ Ty, and Richardson's died for it. He's missed it, but luckily for him, Sean Marsh was coming around as well in the leg side. Almost lost your breath there, Bryce.
I did.
I don't know.
That was a dreadful dive. He just didn't want to do it, and he just fell to his knees, and the ball just kept rolling away. Thankfully, there's a boundary rider to back him up.
Happened in segments.
Oh, it was horrible.
Layla in to Ty, who's standing spread-legged at the wicket. Wheels the bat down the grounds. A slow one to the fielder. And 1 for Ty.
Well, it's a clear strategy here with Layla bowling, and that's he needs his left arm angled out wide, so he's going to give the stumps away here. The fine leg and a backward square leg are inside the circle, so he can't afford to be bowling at the stumps at all.
Hardy's there. He's tried to club that like Babe Ruth down the ground. Didn't quite time it all that well. It rolls down to Prestwich. They'll sprint back for 2. Good running from Hardy.
How did they get 2 there? Oh, it's called no ball for the height. Now, this is interesting. I wasn't certain it was that high. But goodness knows how they got 2. It went straight to long off, and they've run 2. Maybe Hatzoglu just took it a bit easy, chasing it. And in this game, they're not going to give you an inch. They will take you on. They'll take on every throw. Maybe you just thought, oh, well, it's a simple one. But important delivery now. Real definable moment. Free hit.
7 off the over so far. This is the free hit as Layla bowls and Hardy tries to smack it down the ground. Didn't quite get all of it. And down to long off for 1.
Change of fielder down there. It's nearly heartbreaking when you get pulled out of those sort of spots. He's in the wrong spot. But every player now has a role to play in the field.
Yep.
So you need to get into your spot. And Hatzoglu was not the man they wanted at long off.
Layla, left arm over the wicket as Tice takes 1 big step across and then with a big flurry guides it into the leg side. And they get 1.
Good bowling, Josh Layla. Again, real wide, out of the tram lines there. Ty knows what's going on, so he's stepping right across and trying to attack the short boundary. But he's having to reach so far away. It's just too hard to muscle it away to that short boundary.
Layla in. He's tried to cover drive that one as Aaron Hardy. He's missed it entirely and through to Sam Harper, the wicketkeeper. 17 overs gone. The Scorchers, 7 for 118.
IMAR. We all know they're the tradies' mates when it comes to business insurance. That means if you're a chippy, IMAR's got you covered. And not just you. Insure with IMAR and they'll cover your subbies as well. Plus, receive competitive monthly premiums at no additional cost, which is great for cash flow. Even better, there's no paperwork. Just a simple phone call and we'll get you covered too. Call 13-IMAR now. That's 134627.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
Nation, Jordan Canellis, Bryce McGain. It's the Scorchers who won the toss or won the bat flip and elected to bat first. Lost 3 wickets in the first 3 overs. Lost 3 wickets between in the 4 overs between overs 8 and 11. And they are currently 7 for 118 as Kane Richardson bowls and Andrew Ty tries to heave it through the leg side with a whippy swing. Missed it. Went through him and through to the wicketkeeper.
Richo gave him the full heat, that one, 139. It's not often at this stage Richo's doing that, but he probably just wanted to show him after being hit over his head that home run to centre field straight down the ground. He goes, hey, I've still got some wheels. Don't line me up too quickly.
13 off 11 is AJ Ty. Richardson steaming in, right arm over, shorter ball, down the ground for Ty. It'll drop in the ring and then rolls down and Prestwich slides after it. Ty picks up a double.
And the enticing part of hitting the ball over long off on that short delivery is that mid-off is up inside the circle. So it's forced him to play a really unusual sort of slap shot down the ground. Now they're changing the field. I think it's fine leg is coming up. Or maybe even third man coming up, long off going back. It is a big risk. Kane Richardson realising that. Yep, so third man is up. Fine leg is up inside the circle. So it means that the boundary is protected down the ground now.
Ty, it's a shorter ball as it come off the edge. A big appeal, and the wicket has been taken. There was a little feather there off the bottom edge of AJ Ty's bat. Harper collected it, easy as you like. Didn't have to move all that much, the wicketkeeper. And AJ Ty will have to depart for 15.
A useful innings by the lower order batsman. He's still got his work to do, and he's stiff because that came off his back thigh.
Yeah, that did not hit.
He did not hit it, but sometimes that happens.
Yeah, you look at the replay, both front on and from behind, and that's come off the thigh guard on the back leg.
Yeah, he's a bit dirty about it, but that's cricket. AJ Ty's a bit dirty about it. Kane Richardson's happy.
Yeah.
He's got his second wicket.
On his birthday as well, AJ Ty.
Well, happy birthday. And look, he'll be right in the game when they're bowling.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be a key player. So his night is not done with his 15 off 13. A handy contribution. They're 7 for 120. They've still got 16 balls to go. Sorry, 15 balls, of course, the wicket ball. 15 balls to go. So they need to bat every one of them, at least get a run of ball.
Yep.
Which gets them to 135. But if they can get a few away here, they've got to get that 150, that's for sure. Jason Behrendorff comes to the crease. His best score is 26. That'll be handy now.
Richardson continues. Behrendorff is facing. He's been jammed up, but did all right to work it off the hips through square leg for one.
And all the fielders out on that big boundary to the leg side. Just flicked the pocket. We're looking at a replay of Ty. That one, guesswork by the umpire. He gives it out. Good appeal. Sam Harper, Kane Richardson. Let the umpire make a decision. And it was in the affirmative.
Just goes to show how appealing an appeal can be. Richardson bowling. And off the bat from Hardy through the leg side. They want to run two here. Oh, they hesitated for a little bit. They have to be quick. And Richardson, as the throw came into the bowler's end, fumbled it. If it was a direct hit, it probably would have got them, but the throw came inside on to the bowler's stumps. So they got the two in the end successfully.
Yeah, there's all sorts of hesitation and stop and start, and Behrendorff would have been run out by a long way. Even if Richardson, I reckon, had taken it clean in the hands, but he's so quick on trying to get the ball to the stumps, he didn't do the first bit and take it cleanly.
8 for 1, 2, 3, the Scorchers. Richardson to Hardy, bounces that one into the leg side. This one's a bit of a slower roller, so they won't get the two, just a single, which will keep Hardy on strike as that ends the 18th over. The Scorchers, 8 for 1, 2, 4.
It's never been more important to buy Australian than right now. Our local manufacturers and growers produce world-class products known for their quality, safety and reliability. All while generating local jobs, supporting our communities and helping Australian families now and into the future. So look for the trusted green and gold kangaroo logo. Buy Australian now. Visit australianmade.com.au.
Aaron Hardy with his current high score in professional T20 cricket of 30 not out. Stats for Dulux. Professional painters choose Dulux. And Jason Behrendorff, as you said, high score of 26 in his career.
Yeah, now his role is just to get up the other end. Hardy on strike here with that single off the last ball of the over.
Josh Layla starts his last over. Hardy with a big sweeping shot, almost down on one knee, down the ground. Didn't quite connect, and they'll sprint back for two, though.
Good running by Behrendorff. Fantastic, and once again, they've got the wrong man in the wrong place. Aaron Finch is doing some changes in the field. He's putting himself out there. They really need a fast runner because there's such big boundaries. You can't afford to just have the ball hit straight to you and be two. So they've got to really sprint in. So they're adjusting the field and adjusting the role players out there. Finch is now captaining from the boundary.
Have they got many fast fielders? If you look down the team list, the Melbourne Renegades, maybe some of those younger guys we don't know too much about and have only seen a couple of games from in the Shield.
Yeah, Fraser McGurk is terrific.
Yep.
Very good there. They have a few slugs out there. Sean Marsh.
Yeah. Layla is in. Hardy stooping down low. Guides it into the leg side. Tried to leather it a little bit harder than what he would have liked, but picks up one as he's hit it straight to that man, Aaron Finch.
He's covering some Ks now, Finch. He's running into the circle and reset the field.
They are an older team as well, especially if you put their first choice lineup out there. So once they get Imran Tahir in the sides.
He's ancient. How old's he?
He's
40?
Is he in his 40s?
He'd have to be.
If
I think he was in his 40s 5 years ago.
Layla is in. Berendorf in the air, into the offside, falls a couple of feet short of Bo Webster. Direct hit, but Berendorf was back safe at the non-strikers.
No, every team needs an experienced leggy, that's for sure. So I'm right in his corner. But
putting your hand up, right?
Oh, I think he was 38 for about 6 years. Imran Tahir.
How old's Mohammed Nabi? He will come back.
Yeah, well, that is experience and firepower with the bat and good handy off spin as well. So, yeah, they do. It's an experienced lineup.
Layla into Hardy, who clouts that one down the ground, but straight into the hands of Bo Webster, who takes the catch down at long off. And Aaron Hardy, who was probably the last remaining beacon of batting hope for the Perth Scorchers, has to depart for a 33, which is the highest score in this Perth innings for Dulux. Professional painters choose Dulux.
And Layla's been excellent. He's not bowled a loose delivery. He's executed so well. His change up there, that ball just dipping down. 3 for 28, his figures now, as he gets to close out. A couple of balls away from shutting out his fourth over. And he's got the hardest job in cricket, I think. He's got to bowl when there's only 2 outside the circle in the power play.
Yep.
And then his role is to close out the innings as well. So for that role and to have 3 for 28, he's won the battle against the Scorchers tonight.
3 for 28, absolutely. Josh Layla. Aaron Finch will be very happy with that. His first appearance of Josh Layla in Melbourne Renegades colours after a great spell with the Brisbane Heat. I really enjoyed watching him with Brisbane. Thought it was a very... Obviously, he can take the wickets, as we've seen, but very economical as well. Great pickup for the team in reds. Layla into Berendorf, who works it neatly into the offside for 1. Fawad Ahmed's out there, so this is the last wicket partnership with 7 balls to go in the innings. 9 for 129 here, Perth.
And really interesting field here that they've got set. And Aaron Finch is a master at this. There's a deep backward point, like a wide third man, and a deep point.
Layla, full of delivery to Ahmed, who crouches down, digs it into the offsides. Scrambling going on with Finch, that sort of extra cover mid-wicket area. And that's just 1. End of the penultimate over. The Scorchers are 9 for 130.
Power Summer Scorcher Sale gives you the power of a sizzling hot offer on Toyo tyres. Buy 3 and get 1 free on a huge range of Toyo passenger car and SUV tyres. Now that is a hot offer. Buy 3 and get 1 free on selected Toyo passenger car and SUV tyres. Only during December at Tyre Power. Tyre Power's Summer Scorcher Sale is on now with many more scorching offers on a hot range of famous brand tyres. Visit tyrepower.com.au or call 13 21 91 for your local owner operator.
For 130, Big Bash Nation, Jordan Canellis and our Western Union expert. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with our app is Bryce McGain. Second of 2 games tonight. The Stars easy winners earlier against the Thunder. And we're almost at the halfway point. Last over of the Scorchers innings. Ahmed backing away, flinging the bat at it into mid-wicket area, into the covers, I beg your pardon, and it is out. Sean Marsh takes the catch. And that ends the Perth Scorchers innings at 130, Bryce McGain.
Yeah, Ahmed gave that everything. It hit the middle of the bat, and flew away, I think, over, well, out to deep cover. Sean Marsh just ambled in, took the easiest of catches. He's happy. I think the Renegades will be extremely happy with what they've been able to do. They've bowled out the Perth Scorchers in under 20 overs, 19.1 overs. Everything's wrapped up for 130.
Yep, all done, the Perth Scorchers. So it started off a little ugly for them with Josh Inglis. Well, Colin Munro, I beg your pardon, was the first to go. He departed for naught off 3 balls, bowled by Josh Layla. Next to depart was Josh Inglis, the opener, 9 off 6. Kane Richardson took his wicket. Then it was Joe Clark, the English import, batting at number 3, who's here for a limited time. And he had a limited time out in the middle, 10 off 6. Nice. Josh Layla, fall of wicket was 3 for 19 at that stage. And then there was a bit of a partnership. They were able to work together, the Scorchers, with Marsh and Bancroft it was. Then it was... pardon me, Marsh and Turner, I beg your pardon. Yep. Then Turner fell next at 4 for 58. Run out from Harper, which was probably the play of the first half, would you say, Bryce?
Absolutely. A real key moment because those two could take the game away. Turner and also Mitch Marsh, they're really dangerous players. It was a key wicket.
Yeah, Turner gone for 24 off 16. Bancroft was the next to go. He was out there for 4 balls, 3 for 4. His wicket was taken by Peter Hatsoglu, who had his first wicket for the Knights, the leg spinner from Melbourne University, 5 for 62, the fall of wicket there. Then he took Mitch Marsh as well, Peter Hatsoglu, 7 off 18. The skipper, Mitch Marsh, departed, 6 for 75 at that stage. And then the rest to fall after that was Jai Richardson, 8 off 9. Then it was... my notes have run out at that stage.
Ty.
There we go.
Ty out in the 18th over.
This is why you're the expert.
Yeah, 15 off 13 deliveries. And it's a useful contribution by Ty. They've lost wickets in the last 3 overs. The tail enders going out. Hardy, he's 33 off 36, invaluable for the Scorchers. And Ahmed, he was the last man out. First ball of that last over by Richardson. He was out for 1. The bowling figures, you've got those handy with you there?
I do, yes. For the Melbourne Renegades, there was a handful of really great showings tonight from them. 2 bowlers with 3 wickets each. Josh Layla had 3 for 30 off his 4 overs. Kane Richardson had 3 for 22 off his 3.1 overs, going at an economy of 6.95. Peter Hatsoglu, 2 for 29 off his 4 overs on Big Bash debut. One of the local replacement players brought in the absence of Will Sutherland and Marcus Harris with Australia A. So he came in, took 2 wickets on debut, the 2 wickets of Mitch Marsh and Cam Bancroft, and then 1 wicket for Beau Webster, 1 for 14 off 3 overs, and then Prestwidge and Benny Howell, the other 2 bowlers who had a spell and didn't take a wicket, but 3 wickets each for Layla and Richardson. And that's the one of the things that I think I like the most about the Renegades this season, that they've clearly gone and targeted options in the fast bowling stocks. James Pattinson still to come into the team later on in this season. It was a weak point last year, and they've clearly identified that now, and it's worked.
Yeah, what do they need? They need another opening bowler to support Richardson, and they've got one. They've got him in Josh Layla. Both of those bowling in the power play. Layla opening the bowling, he bowled 2 overs in that power play up front, and he then closes out. Richardson's got the same role, and they needed it. Both those guys taking 6 wickets. That's an outstanding. That's where the innings was really smashed apart. The 3 early wickets, and then their ability to shut it down in the end. Excellent bowling by both Layla and Kane Richardson.
Yep, absolutely. As for the Perth Scorchers, so we had scarce time to actually chat about them because their wickets were falling one after the other. But the Scorchers this season, what have you made of their team? Their team, I was actually a little bit surprised at how much people have been talking up the Perth Scorchers squad. Not because they don't have a good team, they do, but it hasn't changed all that much from last season. They brought in a couple of players. We'll see Jason Roy later on in the season. Liam Livingston, the English opener who was there all last year, will come back at some stage later this season. So